ओम श्री साई राम। तू प्यार का सागर है, तू प्यार का सागर है। तेरी एक बूंद के प्यासे हम, तेरी एक बूंद के प्यासे हम। लौटा जो दिया तुमने, लौटा जो दिया तुमने। कहो जाएंगे कहाँ फिर हम, कहो जाएंगे कहाँ फिर हम। तू प्यार का सागर है। ओम श्री साई राम। Boundless ocean of mercy. Yesterday night, before going to sleep, I don't do any what we call normal prayers that I have done during my college days, maybe enough. I just now most of the time communicate with him, and I do very less, sometimes even no talk, no questioning from my side unless he prompts me. I love to listen to his voice. I keep my mind in constant and conscious presence of this beloved. All the time, everywhere, in every situation. Because I have to be very alert. I don't want to create a situation where he has that skip route opportunity to tell, मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ? You did not ask me. You did not tell me. You did not inform me. All these dramas I have seen, so I am ever alert. Even before a thought enters my mind, immediately I will involve him in every situation, good, bad, ugly, whatever. And he loves it. So yesterday, while I was giving talk in the evening, I was just doing my routine work. He put a thought in my mind of that Bhagavatam. It is mentioned that Krishna designed cutting off his little finger so that Draupadi could tear her end of her sari that she was wearing, and she would dress that finger with that piece of cloth from her sari. This was designed because Krishna knew God anticipates the needs and the situation of his devotees. Krishna knew that she would need his protection. She would need unending flow of saris from him in near future to protect her honor. As soon as this thought crossed my mind, he gives that thought. He's, I told, he is the best lover. There cannot be a greater lover than this 5 feet 3 inch God. And when any such thought crosses my mind, immediately I have to scrutinize why Swami is giving me this thought. Then he enlightens. He does everything. Only we have to keep alert. We don't have to do anything. This is the mistake all of us do. We think that we are the doers. No. We are neither doers or directors, neither deciders. We have to be in touch with the director, constant and conscious awareness. What Swami calls constant integrated awareness of his unmistakable and unmissable presence all around us all the time. It is like current is flowing through our wires all the time. Only we need to switch on. But if we keep the switch off, what can the current do? It is there. It wants to give us the light, the air, the flow of even air conditioning or heater. It is available all the time. If we have connected our minds to the source, even after connecting our minds to the source, which we claim that we have, we have to at least switch on the button, the required button. We have to be in constant and conscious awareness of his presence around us and get back to him in every situation. He is available. And he is multitask personality. I have given one talk on that. Multi-dimensional divinity. There is nothing that he cannot do or he cannot suggest or guide us on. So immediately he gave the thought. I said, Swami, this is wonderful. I read somewhere long back. See how he gives the right thought at the right time. Always keep your accounts with God. Because his mode of paying back is interest upon interest upon interest upon interest upon interest. Draupadi, when she gave one small piece of cloth to Krishna to tie up around his finger, she did not even think of asking some boon in exchange of that favor or seva what she had done. That thought would never cross mind of a lover. She did it spontaneously out of love. Even if Krishna had offered her some blessings, she would say, what are you talking about? I have not done any favor to you. It is out of my love for you. I could not see you in pain. I did nothing big. She would say that. I don't know if actually that happened or not. But there is a story. Once Krishna enacted a drama that he is having a stomachache, incurable, because Rukmani had that ego that Krishna belongs to me and why Krishna is all the time playing with gopikas. And Swami has declared Krishna was just a small boy. So Krishna enacted the drama. And he said, my pain can go only when somebody brings the dust of feet of my true devotees. And he delegated this responsibility to Narada. He can go anywhere, any place. Even Narada had this ego that he is the greatest devotee. But he thought, how could he do this? No, this is not done to give dust of my feet to my Lord. No, you papam papam, he will not do. And Rukmani also, she said, Lord, we are here to take dust of your feet. How can we give dust of our feet to you? No, 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 please tell some other cure. He said, nothing doing, only this can cure me. Krishna, who will give? None of your devotees will do this. Krishna said to Narada, okay, you go to Vrindavan and try with my gopikas. Rukmani saw now what Krishna is telling. Let me see. If they do that, they will directly go to hell. It was win-win situation for Rukmani, she thought. If they don't give, so Krishna's expectations that they are my greatest devotees goes wrong. If they give, they go to hell. It was a win-win situation, Rukmani thought for herself. Narada obeyed and he went to Vrindavan. He could go anywhere, any place, manifest himself. Krishna was in Dwarika. Krishna never went back to Vrindavan after he left. When he was very small, Swami said, he played that Rasa Leela and whatever pranks with Gopikas. They all were married and Krishna was just a small child, maybe 5, 6, 7 years old. So all this... So Narada went there and told Gopikas, this is the situation and Krishna is asking for dust of his devotees. Now, what to do? We cannot give because we don't want to do that. It is a sin. Gopikas did not have a second thought even for a moment. Immediately everybody gathered and they all removed the dust from their feet, put it in, wrapped it in one cloth and said, please go, rush. Our Lord is in pain. Who cares if we go to hell? Nothing, you go. This is true love, intense love, ishq. Calculating minds cannot do that love. They will calculate sin and merits, hell and heaven. Lover will not even think of that. I am his lover and God is interested only in lovers. So when Swami gave this thought, immediately I told in my mind, Swami, you have given a very good clue to me. You have publicly declared, and it is mentioned in Bhragu Shastra also, Kasturiji read that part in one of the summer courses, that this avatar will live in this body for 96 years. Then Swami gave me this thought also. Avatar will live in this form for 96 years. Whether he will be available in Puttaparthi all the time is not mentioned. So he is alive for 96 years. That is mentioned. But for us, he has gone because he enacted that drama of Samadhi and multi-organ failure and all. So for us, medically and on physical plane, everybody would say that Swami left his body at the age of 85, 86, 10, 11 years before. So with my Sindhi brain, I told him in my mind, I said, Swami, now I have got this clue from your enlightenment. You owe us 11 years of your presence, isn't it? Once in the interview which I mentioned before, when I cried in the interview room and telling him, Swami, I want the promise from you that these 2 births, you will not look into my karma theory accounts, anything. I should be with you as your near and dear, Satyasai and Premasai as well. I made the advance booking of that also. And then as a gentleman, I also said to him that Swami will settle the accounts after these 2 births. And then Swami hugged me and he loved me like anything for this. And then I just relaxed, leaning myself against the wall. I was holding him tight. He also gave me a very tight hug on that. So then I released myself and I sat, because then he started talking to my wife. Bolo amma kya mangta hai? And my wife, like a typical devoted wife of India, real India, she said, Swami, I don't want anything, just you be with him and protect him. Always protect him. He is always with me. I am in him, around him, behind him, besides him, always and everywhere. I had left the grip because I was relaxed after getting that boon from him. And I was smiling. I could not control my laughter. I was in bliss. Then he looked at me and said, hey, now you are laughing. Just few minutes before you were crying like anything. I said, Swami, why should I cry now? You have made me Jivan Mukta. You have given me liberation. He said, how? Kaise? He knows everything. He plays that. Arjuna also he plays, Krishna also he plays. I said, Swami, you have given me the boon right now that you will not look into my karmas for 2 births, isn't it? And 2 births I would be with you as your near and dear. Living with you for 2 births, Satyasai and Premasai, what will remain even if I am a Ravana? Nothing is going to remain. So what will you settle after 2 births? Then he said, hey, you pakka Sindhi businessman. And he loved me for that. I use that brain of lover. Sindhis are lovers, I believe. I said, Swami, you owe us these 11 years, 10 plus. And now the interest upon interest upon interest upon interest. We are not going to allow you to leave so soon now. You have promised that you will appear. You have shown that you are never gone. But for us, you have disappeared in your own words. So you have to now appear again. Coming and going is that not the language. I am asking about your appearing and disappearing. You have to compensate not only for the years that we have lost with you, as if we were all the time devoted to him, with interest. Interest upon interest upon interest. With this thought, I slept off. He comes to me practically every morning for guiding me on governance of God in this, or bringing about governance of God in this country. I don't think about this from my side. He comes, he prompts question answer, which I have written in a book, Krishna Gita, dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna like. Swami has blessed that, and he has taken that project report on the last day, put it on his lap. Anyways, so that is different. I will explain whenever he commands me to do. So he appears practically 4 o'clock. My wife will get up for Omkar Suprabhatam. And Suprabhatam for me is the best time to sleep off. For all hostel boys also, they will tell you. So I would just go to beautiful sleep, half awake, conscious. I will listen to Suprabhatam also, Omkar, mantras, whatever she is chanting. I love to listen to his prayers, but I am in my own divine mood. So Swami appears many times in his Krishna form, Satyasai form, whatever he does. So today morning he appeared, and I wanted to share that good news with all my brothers and sisters across the world. I told him, Swami, I am not going to, because this was my thought, कि such avatar has come after millions and millions of years. Satyasai avatar does not happen every yuga. Now, this was an opportunity to attract him on his promise of 96 years, that condition that he himself has imposed upon himself. Though on Guru Purnima of 1993, after that 6th June incident, that was the first public discourse Swami gave on Guru Purnima, he said, Na pranam na chetilonnai, my life is in my hands. Some people are telling that I will leave this body at the age of 96. Why 96? I can extend it to any time, any period. So I recollected even that discourse also, because I was present there. I made 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, that this God is ready to even extend beyond 96. Why not take advantage of that for the entire humanity? Not for myself. He has declared, I am always with him. I don't care for this physical existence. I am always with him. He has assured. I have not done any sadhana. I don't claim anything on that. Nothing. His choice. So I caught him today morning. I said, Swami, your own words, you will light the lamp of love in every human heart. You will raise every human mind to the next level of human consciousness and awareness. At present, even those who believed in you, they are not ready to believe that you will come back. And you know the situation of human mind as on today. There is total deterioration everywhere, in every sphere of human conduct. We need you more than those 10 or 11 years. You add your grace on that and be with us, all of us, until and unless every heart, every human heart is lit with your love, your grace, and every mind is uplifted to that higher consciousness of awareness. Please, Swami, we are not interested in your premasai also, to be very frank. I told him that will happen when it will happen. A bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush. We are very much happy with your this form, Swami. You be with us in this form. Your form is eternal. You have to just decide to be with us, manifested with us, and light the lamp of love. Because now when you come and appear from the sky, as you say, he said that nobody can claim exclusive rights upon this avatar. No region, no religion, no nation, no one. Because then he comes from sky and he belongs to all, the entire universe. He will, the universal God, come in as our personal God. I said, Swami, that is the golden moment. Even the most doubting Thomases will have no arguments to doubt your divinity. And I believe that is the purpose of all this drama. I know 90% of people who used to come for Swami's darshan, 90% took him to be some good saint with these powers. They came to seek some favors. Nothing wrong in that. That is his game. Nobody is authorized to comment on that. That is between devotee and God. He told once, I know whom to give, what to give, how much to give, when to give, and whom not to give. So nobody can come in between Swami and any of his devotees. No comment on that. We are not authorized. We are not eligible. No ways. He alone knows. But Swami, please, I'm not asking that you extend my life. I'm with you always. That is your assurance. But you be with all your devotees across the world. Give them the opportunity of your proximity, your love. This golden chance will not come again, I know it, Swami. Let every soul be uplifted, every soul be saturated with your love. Your love. We have no capacity to love. We have lost that ability to love. We do not know what love is. You know it, Swami. And he said, Tathastu. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Jai Bolo Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba Ji.